Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're learning how to make a bubu top with an asymmetric neckline. Yeah, so it's going to be a very interesting tutorial. Just before we start, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, give this video a thumbs up and leave your comments. So let's get started. Alright guys, so the pattern paper is going to be on fold because it's an asymmetric bodice. Yeah, so this is the edge of the fold, and then if your paper is not long enough, you might need to use a masking tape to join, like so. So that's that. Now this is my shoulder line. Okay, this is my chest line, my waistline, and of course this is the hip line. Except you want yours to be a crop top, you can stop a few inches below the natural waistline. So on the shoulder line, I'm gonna mark half of my across back measurements. Same thing on the chest line. Now all of this is not really necessary, but I'm just trying to give a skeletal look of a basic bodice before we adapt it into the bubu, so that at least beginners can follow. So on the chest line, I'm gonna mark quarter of my bust circumference measurement plus 1 inch for side seam allowance. So like I said, I'm just trying to create a skeletal look of a basic bodice pattern. Okay, later we'll find out that we don't even need all of this. Okay, now on the waistline, I'm going to mark quarter of my waist circumference measurement. Okay, and do the same thing. I'll add 1 inch for side seam allowance. There's no need for that on this blouse. Okay, so on the hip line now, I'm going to mark quarter of my hip circumference, and I'll add about 1.5 inch for ease before I add my 1 inch for side seam allowance, because we're going to be adding elastic to the hemline. So it is only on the hip line I added ease. Okay, now on the shoulder line, I'm going to mark my neck width. Okay, so I'll be working with 5 inches because the neckline is a little bit open, sort of. Then this is my across back measurement. From here, I'm going to mark the length of the sleeve. So here I'm marking 24 inches, but in the real sense of it, by the time we finish adding the elastic and all that, it will shrink to about, say, 20 inches. So that is 24 inches. I'm going to mark the same thing on the chest line, 24 inches, like so. Now, let me create the skeleton for the basic bodice. Like I said initially, I'm doing this for beginners. We really didn't have to go through all this process to draft the bubu. So this is what a basic bodice, the skeleton looks like without that anyway. Okay, so I hope we get it. Now from the waistline, okay, I'm going to come down by about 2 inches. You could do 1.5 inch. Okay, we want to create the armhole opening. So I came down by 2 inches from my waistline, like this. So from here to this point is going to be my sleeve opening. Okay, and then I'm going to mark the same thing on this other side here. So I will mark 2 inches first, then go down by 1 inch from that point. So meaning this from where I want to draw the line here is a bit slightly upward than this other side. So I went down by 1 inch just to create the curve of my armhole, like this. Can you see what I've done? So that 1 inch is just a guide, sort of. So at the end of the day, we don't need all of this. That's why I said we don't need all that initially, but we had to do that for beginners to comprehend what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm trying to clear the shoulder slant here. So I came down by 1.5 inch. I'm going to use my long steel ruler to connect that point to where my neck width terminates, like so. So this is my shoulder slant. I came down by 1.5 inch. Okay. Then this is my sleeve opening. Okay. Then this is the neckline, which we are yet to construct. Now I'm going to cut out, okay, from here, that way, and this way. So let me do that. Okay, I've already cut out like so. Then I'm here to cut out the shoulder slant. I want us to see where I want to start cutting from. So I'm cutting from where the neck width terminates. I've already cut it out, okay? So remember that the neck width is 5 inches. You can see the mark. Now for the neck depth, I'm going to come down by 3.5 inch. I don't want the top to be too revealing. I mean the neckline. So you can come down underneath if you want to. Okay, it depends on your choice. Now I'll open up the bodice. So this is it. Meanwhile, this pattern is going to serve as both the front and back. Okay, so this is my neck width and this is the neck depth. So if I was having a regular neckline, I'll just connect like so, but the neckline is going to be an asymmetric neckline. So what I'll do now, from my across back measurement here, this line that forms the armhole normally, okay, I'll come down by 4 inches like so. Then the next thing, from this line, I'm going to go backward by say 3 inches. This is going to form the off shoulder. Already anything okay guys, so I'm just trying to be more clear. This is my center front. I'm trying to go over the instructions again. Okay, and this is my neck width. Okay, now if you're doing an off shoulder, you find the midpoint of this line, and then I'm going to connect all those points together. So this side has the shoulder, then to the neck depth, then all the way to this other side, and I'll end up having an off shoulder on the other side. Now I'm going to cut out. So don't forget that this pattern is going to be used for both the front and the back. Now this side is the off shoulder, since it's beyond the armhole line. This is my center front line, the off shoulder part. Okay, I hope that was clear enough. So let me just fold it for us to see. So this is the part, this is my center front. This is the part that has the off shoulder. Okay, and then this is the other side with the normal shoulder and the normal neckline. Okay, so we're cutting 2 of this. Alright guys, I've transferred my pattern to the fabric. I added some allowance to the neckline, the shoulder slants, half inch, then the sleeve opening I added 1 inch, here 1 inch, and of course the hemline 1 inch. Same thing to this side, half inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. Okay, so it's that simple. Now we are going to cut facing for the neckline. You get your pattern paper, okay, place the pattern underneath like so, then you try and trace out the neckline, or you can just cut it directly. Okay, it depends on what works for you. So let me just cut out the neckline first. we're trying to create a facing for this. You can't use bias tape to, knitting the neckline. It doesn't look professional. I'm just cutting out the excess paper like this. Then I'll take off my bodice. Now I can measure the width of the facing. The longer the better. I always say that, so that the facing doesn't stick out. So I'll just do 4 inches round for the width of my facing, like so. Then make sure you take note of the side that has the shoulder and the side that has off shoulder, so that you don't misplace the patterns. So this is the facing. I will just cut out. Okay, now because I have seam allowance on the neckline of the bodice already, that's on the fabric, there's no point adding seam allowance to the neckline of the facing. You just add seam allowance to the bottom. Okay, it's that simple. So I'm cutting 2 of this. Okay guys, here I've transferred my facing to the fabric, the pattern, and I've used my office pin to, hold it down to the neckline of both the front and the back pieces. Right side facing right side. So I'll go ahead now and sew 1/2 inch round. Okay, so this is it. I've sewn my facing. Then make sure you stitch the seam allowance to the facing, so that when you fold in, the facing will lie flat, like so. So this is the front, okay, or the back, whichever one, or we have 2 pieces anyway. So you just place them on top of each other, right side facing right side. Okay, like this. So go ahead and join the 2 pieces together at the shoulder, 1/2 inch on both sides. Okay, I've done that already. Now I'm going to sew 1 inch, the side seam and the sleeve 1 inch, like that. Let me do that. Okay, this top is so simple to make, like very easy. I've sewn that already. Okay, now we're going to work on the sleeve opening. So what you want to do is you're going to fold one of the sleeves like so. You fold in 1/2 inch twice to create a casing for your elastic. Okay, so you're going to do this and sew it round, and the hemline of the top too, you're going to fold 1/2 inch twice and sew it round. Same thing for the other sleeve opening. I told us it's very simple. Okay, so I've created the casing. Make sure you leave about 1 inch that we use to pass the elastic. This is my safety pin, this is my elastic. So what you want to do is you want to measure, where the sleeve is going to terminate. You measure it round. Whatever you have there, take about 2 inches away from it. You won't use the exact length, and cut out the elastic. Then with your safety pin, you're going to pass the elastic through the opening. I told us to leave about 1 inch opening. I'm trying to look for it. Okay, there is it. So I'll just pass this through. Then I'll use the second safety pin to secure the elastic down, because the elastic is quite small compared to the opening, so that it doesn't get stuck inside, like that. Okay, so now I can pass my elastic safely. So I'm done passing the elastic. I'll take both of his safety pins out. I beg your pardon. Then I'm going to tie a very small knot to secure the elastic. I always prefer to tie than sewing. If you sew it down, it may loose. Yeah, so I prefer to tie it, which I'm trying to do now. So after tying, you want to just cut off the excess you have, and then now you can pull the elastic around. Then the opening you left, the 1 inch opening, you want to go ahead and close it up. So you repeat the same thing for the other sleeve and also the hem line of the blouse. Same process. Meanwhile, for this one, same thing. You measure the hip circumference measurements, take about 2 inches away, and then that's what you use to pass the elastic. Yeah, so this is how it looks on me. Nice, right? Okay guys, so please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and thank you for watching. Bye.